Today is Thursday, May 28th, and you can see that the pre-market was expecting a pretty up day, came back to reality when the mutual funds kicked in at 9:30 and they started doing their trading. This is the automated trades that are placed by the big mutual funds. This is market on open kind of orders, just buy whatever the open price is. And you can see that after that, the traders took over, we moved up, and then when Trump said that he was scheduling a China press conference for tomorrow, or China would be the subject of the press conference, the market dropped because that's not going to be good news. Hong Kong has some restrictions put on it apparently by the Chinese, so you can expect some retaliatory measures. The worst thing that could happen would be that Trump decides that he's going to rip up phase one of the agreement and we start all over again, and that is going to cause the market to just go into serious spin. Advancers led decliners on the overall. The NASDAQ behaved just like the Dow and just like the S&P 500. Volume on the Dow, we've seen that being typically low. Volume on the NASDAQ was average. Volume on the S&P 500 was below average. So let's take our big spreadsheet into consideration and let's look at the oscillator. The oscillator came down. So now we have a pattern of a high, a lower high, and a lower high. This is dangerous. We want to break this pattern. We need an update tomorrow, and it's very unlikely that we're going to have it. So that's going to drive the McClellan oscillator lower through decliners over advancers. Excuse me. So here's the volume stacked. You can see the volume was dominated by declining volume, or stocks that declined, was lower than Monday and Tuesday. So we missed an opportunity to continue the rally of higher volume. That was important to us, like we saw 2 weeks ago. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then we dropped off Thursday, Friday. Then the following week was just a series of down volumes. We missed the opportunity here. Of course, there was no Monday. So we're heading tomorrow for, we would hope for a low volume day. If it's a high volume day and we're down, that is not good news, because our oscillator could move all the way back down to the neutral line, which is this gray line right here. So let's take a look at the summation index. The summation index continues to tick higher, and now the summation index is well over 2,000. So if we look at the raw data and we look at what the summation index has been doing, and remember that's our indicator for 3 to 6 months out. We were negative from March the 9th through to February 22nd. And since then, we've been increasing. We had a little bit of a dip, but we've been on the increase now from February 23rd to May 28th. So that's over a month. Let's look at the charts and see where we've got our Chico span interactions, because that's what we've been watching over the last couple of days, and our reactions with the moving averages. Starting with the S&P, we were only down a tiny bit today, but look where we stopped, right at the top of the cloud, which is something that we said we would probably do when we had the video yesterday. We said we'd probably come down and test the top of the cloud, and with any luck we'd move higher. Well, we did test the top of the cloud, and if you look at the 5-minute chart, of course, we don't have the daily cloud on the 5-minute chart, so that's not going to help us. But if we look at the gap on the 5-minute cloud, you can see that we actually went through it. That doesn't really match up with this chart here. But nonetheless, we didn't break. We ended up just above the gap of 302.566, a little bit higher. So we've come down to the gap now, and we said we would come down and then possibly shoot higher. And so far so good. Now the Chico span is outside the cloud. The Chico span should be getting support, and I'm going to move this green line. The Chico span should be getting support right around this value here of 30.13. If it loses that tomorrow, then it's going into the gap, and we're going to move down to the 200. So this whole thing with China is going to hurt retail, is going to hurt agriculture, is going to hurt Caterpillar, and Caterpillar certainly got hit today. Apple was doing much better at one point in the day, went to the top. This is an arbitrary range, so don't look at it. What I'm really looking at here is the cup and the handle pattern, and we're looking for a solid cup and handle pattern. And once we break above the handle pattern, then according to the technicians at Investors Business Daily, the newspaper, we should be going higher. That's their cup and handle pattern. If we break through that, well, that's pretty negative, because you shouldn't have a cup and handle followed by a big downdraft. Caterpillar, anyways, Apple is still a great stock to own, still a great stock to hold on to. Caterpillar pulled back after it hit the 200 today. So let's see what caused that. Let's see. So it hit the 200 at the open, basically in the first 15 minutes, and then pulled back. So it wasn't Trump's announcement. Trump's announcement is right here and caused it to pull back and fall into the 15-minute cloud. But Trump's announcement is not why it bounced down today. It's because it hit the 200 moving average in the first 15 minutes, and there were sellers sitting there. The Chiku span is still out there above the cloud. So look for support. Let's move this green line. Look for support to be right in here where the Chiku span touches the cloud, or basically where we come to the low of trading on Wednesday. So if you're looking to trade Caterpillar on an in and out situation, and you got in over the 8 EMA, then you want to get out at 119.37. Home Depot, not such a good day, but it appeared it would have a great day. It had broken out. It's over 100%. Let's look at it on the 5-minute, and you can see that it started to tank around 316, right around Trump's announcement about a press conference. Why? Because Home Depot buys so many goods from China. Look at all of the, well, you've been to Home Depot or Lowe's, everything is made in China. Nvidia, down a little bit. FSLY, still channeling. Netflix, I still don't believe we're heading down to the bottom of this shark pattern, but as I say it, it continues to happen more and more. So if you're holding Netflix, where do you get out? Because we've already hit the 50 EMA, we've hit the 50 SMA, but we got support. So it would be fair to say that if you're holding Netflix and you've had this fantastic bounce back, you really want to get out at this value here, which is just below 400. So set a stop at 399 and get out, or set a stop at 450 cents and get out there. AT&T still in the cloud. US Bank, I always look at US Bank. Let's take a look at all banks. So yesterday we had Bank of America, last couple of days up 5 to 6%, now down 4%. Goldman down 4, JP Morgan 1.5, XLF 1.5, US Bank Corp 2, and Citigroup down 5. So your banks are a little mixed in terms of how they reacted to this. So if you're into banking stocks, that gives you an indication of which ones were in favor today and which ones not so much. Whirlpool took a huge drop today and got saved by the 8 EMA. Not quite by the Chiku span at the bottom of the cloud, but that was pretty close. So we were looking for the Chiku span to be resistance up here. Now we've got the Chiku span being support down there. So this is just looking at the Chiku span to show you that it's a pretty darn good indicator, even though it's plotted 26 days back into the future. Anybody who's still looking at Wayfair, I'm out of there. But Wayfair has this gap, and it looks like, I'm not going to draw the gap in here, but it looks like it's trying to fill the gap down to 134. So if you're looking to buy Wayfair, look at a bounce at 134. Let's just take a final look at our copper stocks. Tech still in the gap. FCX still channeling sideways. Neither of them are a buy. Where are we going tomorrow? We've got the gap as support. That doesn't mean a heck of a lot. It really depends on Trump's press release, or press statement. If it's in the morning, which is unlikely, I mean, he doesn't get out of bed till 11:30 in the morning, or out of his apartment. So if it's in the afternoon, then the Dow is going to be weak in the morning, waiting for that announcement. And then we will look at the McClellan oscillator, which has now done this little retreat back to the top of the overbought. We want desperately to see, if you're looking for the market to move up, you desperately want to see advancers and decliners tomorrow being higher than 632, because to stay where it is, the advancers have to lead the decliners by 632. Today was 494 in the other direction. So that is a pretty tall order. Look for the McClellan oscillator tomorrow to fall under the overbought area and do some chattering in the middle. So tomorrow's going to be a down day.